Hey guys, welcome back to Hobbiton Zoo. Um, I did do some parts in the pangolin area that I didn't really record because it was just fiddling, and I was literally just putting stuff up like every 5 minutes or something because I was a little bit how do you say, blank on what to do in there with the interior. But I did manage to put some stuff up, but I can show you that when I am done with the speed build here. But anyways, guys, today I am building something you might know from the Shire, the Green Dragon Inn. Or I'm not building it, but I'm building something heavily inspired by it. Let's say it like that. And that's basically what this building is gonna be like. This is the first time I'm using the thatch roof in this game, but the thatch roof in this game is just way better than Planet Coaster. So I thought I would give it a try here, because I'm not really using the thatch roof either in Planet Coaster so much as well. So I thought I would give it a go here. And basically, this thatch roof is kind of what the Green Dragon has. So I felt like it was quite nice to just try it out and see how things will go with this. And this building is not only gonna have shops; it's also gonna have some facilities, toilets, two exhibits. It's gonna have bunch of stuff. This building here, and also some power. I think also put in here, of course. And then yeah, I'm really trying to decorate all the bits I add in that are noticeable for the guests. So I'm also doing some interior work on it and stuff. So it's yeah, I'm quite happy on how this building turns out. But for now, I'm kind of just wanna explain to you guys what I'm doing. So you guys have seen the Green Dragon before in the movie, I assume, and my inspiration from that was basically just to try something with the thatch roof and then sort of have this sort of long shaped building in some way that kind of have a little bit offset style. And that's kind of like what I wanted to achieve with this building. And as you can see, or you saw in like the first minute of the video, it goes super fast. I already tried to do the structure, the base of the build here, so I knew where I could go for with this, and what I could decorate and so on and so on. And I also felt like I needed to try some new trim work and maybe just go the custom way and try to do something a little bit different than the other Hobbit houses I've done. Not that this is a Hobbit house in that way; it's more of a inn. How do you say? So I felt like it could have the same kind of like trim in some way, but still a little bit different style. Because I feel like the more we get away from like this Hobbit area we've been making, with the peafowls and the pangolins and the Hobbit houses and stuff, they're probably gonna make tons of more of them, like on the hills and stuff. So I really feel like that you're walking in Hobbiton and in the Shire. And then have all these sort of buildings a little bit away from it, so they kind of like make this sort of area. I feel like at this part here, you will see me as soon as I finish the build. I'm starting to add some pathing and so on and so on. But I feel like here I want this sort of lake from it, where the lake can kind of like go all the way over, like a long way, and then we can make this sort of little bridge. They also have a few of in the Shire. So I feel like that's the thing I want to do next time, when I get into Hobbiton here. And then afterwards, I feel like I need to find out which animal I might can use in the water that will go well for this sort of Hobbiton style zoo we're going with here. Because as I said in the start, I don't want super big animals. I kind of want to keep it for the Hobbit style. So the animals doesn't look too big, and I have to build something totally big that doesn't go with the small things I've built and so on. Only thing I wanted to build is some sort of a tree house or something like that in another section. where we maybe can have red pandas that climb, or what are the other called? Those there's a few few animals that can crawl, lemurs as well, chimps. There's so many options for us, but I definitely want that in another section. I feel like here we should go with this super cozy, immersive fantasy vibe all the way through here. So it's kind of like the idea I want to go with for now, but I feel like that I'm starting to get really used to the pieces here in Planet Zoo of the small amount we have. I feel like that the pieces are stuck in my head now for the most of the pieces I use. As you can see, it's a lot of the same pieces I use. I've definitely become very happy for the East Asia trims, or like these curved wooden panels, or what you say, that has this, because they're very useful. You kind of like have a total off grid there, and you can just do whatever you want with them and have these super nice circle shapes, which sometimes is difficult to do if you're just doing it with small pieces, but this kind of piece is going very well with that. And as you can see, I'm using the window again, kind of like where I turn it around and use the back side of it. Some of it doesn't really go well with the lime plaster I used, but I feel like it's okay to have some sort of a little color that kind of like fades with the other lime plaster color there is, because I couldn't get them to totally match up, but I feel like I'm okay for now though. But as you can see, I'm kind of like trying to feel how this would look with all this trim work and all the exhibits here, because I really didn't have any idea how it would look, especially also when I opened them to see with all the glass and stuff, and how the guests will actually interact with it. It was just a shot I took here without having any guests interact with it while I build it. But I gotta say, it just fits perfectly, and you guys will see that in the cinematics I will show you at the end, of course. But I'm really happy how it ended up looking. And I also even could connect this building to the pangolin area. You will see that as well in the late in the video here, where I'm doing some stuff as well. And I gotta say, after I saw all this come together and actually see it being interactive with staff, with guests, and animals and all that stuff, it looks so cool to have, so you can actually see the staff inside here, and especially next to the exhibit where you can actually see the keeper's hut, or the keeper making the food to the animals I put in the exhibits. Right now, I can't really remember what I put in the two exhibits. Maybe I can't really remember if I recorded it, but maybe we will see it on the screen if you're very quick to see it, because this goes so fast. The reason why I am not really liking the chimney they gave us the game is that it's red brick. It just fits well for one or two building styles basically, and feel like it's a little bit sad we don't have more chimneys. But the more I've actually built in this game, the easier I find it to actually just make your own custom chimneys. Because these pots here, as you can see, they just work so well for this nice chimney feel that you need to have. And then afterwards, I just kind of like just trying to cover it up with some rocks so it feels handmade in some way, that the rocks are stacked on top of each other. Kind of like I did in the beta build of my lodge thing I did. I kind of like tried to make my own chimney as well there. And it kind of works very well here. And especially when you can see me now here placing them a little bit around the building. Because I noticed that the green dragon has like, I don't know how many chimneys it has. It has like 12 or something. So I felt like if I can just get that into this little bit lesser build than the green dragon, then I would actually kind of get that feeling of it. And actually, after I added them, it totally makes sense to actually have all these chimneys all the way around. It looks super cool, and it feels like the build here is super warm and inviting, and someone is living there, or something is going on here. And I really like when a building feels active, you know. It's super nice. But I feel like that things, um, after I started to add all this stuff up, that I was struggling a little bit afterwards to what I could add to it, besides the trim work, because I didn't know how much like vines and stuff I could put on it, and which way I should go with the backside as well. Because as you can see here, I really didn't think about what I was gonna do with the back, but the more I added, the more the ideas just kind of like came to mind. And as you can see here, here's the back side of the building, where I actually had to make, of course, a path going all the way back there, which kind of ruined the immersiveness of having staff going around the building with a path. You will see it in the end, but I had no choice to do it like that, and it does look cool from the other side where you can see the staff. But on the back side, you just have this staff path where you can see it. Where sometimes I just wish the staff had a path that was only just grass too, and not just the colorable staff paths we have. I know we can just use the normal paths as well, the grass, but then the guests will obviously go on them, and I don't want that. So, but anyways, you can see here the building itself in the back here comes more and more to mind to me what I want to do with it, and I kind of like add these extra extensions to the building, as you can see here, and then I also get an opportunity to add a little bit more chimneys, and I think this has 7 chimneys now, 6 chimneys I think. And then of course I put some smoke and some smoke burst in it to make it feel even more alive. So yeah, I'm quite happy of how these chimneys added to the build here. Super cool. And I also think that I'm gonna try build something more in this style that can go well with this sort of area. I feel like that building with the water wheel into, I'm gonna try make that as well, but make it near the bridge, or something like that, in heavily inspired by it. Let's just call it that. And then maybe try figure out an animal that will go well there, as well. Because right now we have pangolins and peafowls. Nothing crazy, nothing major. But it works well, and you can definitely build some nice immersive fantasy stuff around it, as you guys have been seeing me build the previous videos here. But I feel like as soon as I started getting the entire back done with how I wanted it, all the trim and all that stuff were kind of like just the same from the back, from the front. As you can see, a lot of repetitiveness, but it works. Only people that's gonna be around here is mainly the staff that's gonna walk here. And then I do just like to make it look a little bit prettier on the back side too. So if you still can have a path going there, if it's not staff path, then it's still pretty to look at. So there's not really so much more I do to this build when it comes to do the trim work and all that stuff and supporting it and everything. I do end up clutter it up a little bit, but it's not so much. It's mainly just with foliage and then a little bit of crates and stuff, because people is kind of like walking around the building on the front. So I had to keep it very minimum on where I could place it, but where I then could place it, I kind of like just stacked a lot of stuff. But I'm feeling that this build here is probably one of the best so far I did here in Hobbiton Zoo, and I'm hoping that I'll get even more groove, and I can continue to build something like this, because I'm really liking this style here, especially now when we have this super nice thatch roof. It makes the building so much cooler when you can actually use this sort of roof. So yeah, I actually didn't look at this in snow, I think. I can't remember. But I will show that next video or so. If I didn't, I can't remember it here right now. But as you can see here, I'm trying to place a little bit of stuff on the front here. But people are walking here, and I also want some pathing and stuff. And also, I don't want it to be super difficult for people that subscribe to this blueprint here to actually make the pathing. So I feel like it should be a little bit more freely for people to do their own pathing here, and just kind of like have these sort of spots where the path clicks on, or snaps to. Uh, so but as you can see, I'm trying some stuff on and off, trying to see what looks cool, what doesn't look cool, and then maybe I delete it, maybe I don't. It's kind of like how the building progress works for me. As soon as I finish with the base of the building, I start all the minor detailings, as you can see here, a little bit overgrown stuff, and try and add that little extra thing that will make it pop even more. So yeah, it's very difficult sometimes to be satisfied when you see these plain walls. But in my case, that's just how I see things. I don't like when things are too bare. Um, so, but where I mean, real life buildings are pretty bare. But I think when it's fantasy, we can kind of like just go ham on this. So yeah. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna give you some music, and then I will come back to you and talk a little bit more. So enjoy, guys. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy the music here. You saw me do a little bit stuff around the building here and kind of like seeing how the building now interacts um, with the guests and how it looks like with all the surroundings and stuff. And as you can see, I did end up adding a tree here in the middle of the building because I felt like something was needed here. It felt like it was um, too pale there for some reason. So I felt like it was good to add a little nice tree there in the middle and then make a nice little flower bed. So that's kind of like just what I did there. And as you can see, I'm starting to decorate the inside of the building here, trying to make everything make sense here. And I also added a pizza pen inside so people actually also go in to get some food and not just go to take a poop or something. And then I also added the power thing, or what's it called, the transformer inside, so it could provide power to the exhibits and to the lighting and all that stuff. And I also ended up doing, as you guys saw, give the tree in the middle a little bit of a fantasy vibe with some teal color and a little bit of purple. And that was kind of like cool. It made a nice little atmosphere there. And as you can see here inside, I'm just trying to connect this chimney I did because it goes through the wall. So I felt like, okay, might as well just try make something out of it in here with the chimney. And we have this super cool nice oven piece from, I think it's the African thing, it's super cool. So I felt like it was super nice here, and it's like Hobbit size almost. So I felt like that was cool there. Just doing the trim work inside as well as it is on the outside, and then I'm kind of covering up the toilet here because I really just don't like when the toilet is kind of open like this. And I also end up adding a little bit more wall to the power. I do just cover up a tiny bit of it, so there's still some parts of it sticking out. But I might, before I make it a blueprint, go in and then change it up a bit so you don't see it in the wall there, because it looks kind of stupid now. Come to think about it. So yeah, this will be a blueprint, guys, but it's not on the workshop yet. But I will say to you guys when it's out on the workshop, because also, as you can see, the tables, they don't follow in the blueprint itself as well. So you have to make your own pathing here and make sure that you can have benches, or you can just don't have benches in here as well. It's just, I feel it made a nice vibe to have some benches in here, and I might even add some lighting to them as well, or some sort of decoration on it. But I feel like this building is ended up looking super cool, and it's such a nice vibe it gives to the area, and especially when you come over the hill from the two habitats, and then the first thing you see is this building here, and I kind of like that. And of course, with some water around it as well, it's gonna be super cool to have that super nice vibe there. And then we might consider after that adding in some more animals to the zoo, because I feel like the pangolins and peafowls now are doing quite well, and man, the peafowls are just having a party. So many peafowls. So every time I try to release an animal to the wild in Sandbox here, it crashes on me. So I just have them in the storage for now until hopefully it works. But yeah, as you can see here, just doing the last bits of fiddling and trying to see is there any more I can add to this build here before I call it a day on the exterior. It needs a little bit more work on the inside, but for now I'm quite satisfied with it. And of course the vines always help on these white spots here there are on the wall. And I just, yeah, you know me, I just can't help putting stuff there. But I finally find a way to decorate the walls a little bit with vines and a little bit of bunting and ropes and all that good stuff. But just doing the last parts here before we come to the end of the video. But yeah, just doing the last interior bits here of the trim work, and then I decorate the last bits of the exterior for the staffs as well. And as I said at the start of the build of the video, I do end up connecting the pangolin area to this little in here, what we're gonna call it, where I can manage to put the paths together without having the guests seeing it. And then I do end up adding a door to the pangolin area from that view, so you just don't see the employees walk through a wall, but instead just a door. That's just how it is. We used to do that all the time in Planco, still doing it, because unfortunately we can have doors opening for stuff like that, which is totally fair. So we are just adding doors to kind of like give the illusion of that they walk through a door. Hey. But anyways, guys, just doing the last parts here on the back, just making it look nice. I don't know why I do it, but that's just how I like it. The things kind of like goes together. And you can see here, I'm making that door as I was talking about before, because yeah, you know it. And also I did have the power or the transformer as well for the pangolins in here, so it makes a little bit more sense that it actually next to the path here too. But you guys will also see a little bit of stuff I did in here in the cinematics. As you can see, I added some lights and some benches and some flower beds to the pillars there, and some other stuff, just trying to add a little bit more. But then of course I found out that there are also these pangolin signs that I haven't seen yet, so I will obviously go in and add a few of those to the wall to spice it up a bit more. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did, and thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Stay awesome, guys. Have a great day. Bye.